Alrighty, STEPN Euro Trip Part 3. This is the wrap-up. I've been home now for a month. Done the other videos, 1 and 2. You can check my YouTube for those. But this part of the journey, I'm going to talk about the ending of it. So we had Nice, Barcelona, Madrid, Lisbon, and then Athens. And this was the absolute best part of the journey. The Milan onwards, they were absolutely special. I mean, shit, even really when you think about Zurich, Milan, all of those parts, the last leg, that's where a lot of the people were, the community. We met some ambassadors. We met other people in the community that are quite prominent. And then we met extra people along the way, even in Lisbon, that we had met elsewhere. So it was definitely a great part to talk about. I've got plenty of photos, a little bit of video, and hopefully you enjoy it. Don't forget you can find parts 1 and 2 in my YouTube and plenty of other stuff in there. The badges, if you don't have a badge and you're in the first half of the journey, hit me up. I'll remedy that situation for you, get you a Solana badge. And the t-shirts, that's the t-shirts as well. So we did have a few spare at the end. Not sure what's going to happen with those yet. Obviously not an ambassador. So let's get straight into it. We'll talk about Nice. This was the first part. You see Bryn and myself, we got our, what do you call those, bib numbers for the following day, the 20 kilometers. So we only had 2 nights in Nice. The second day was a little bit wrecked because we didn't understand the baggage and we lost half a day. Bryn lost a lot of time. Tash lost some time. I lost a bit of time myself at the end of the night trying to get our gear from the run. But Nice itself, it was a full marathon and they had teams, competitions. There was, I think you could do teams of 2 for the half marathon, teams of up to 4, I believe, for the full marathons. But we did the 20 kilometer. You couldn't book in for a half marathon by yourself. You could do it as a team. But we just wanted to do, obviously, the single runs and go through there. Why is that not going? Let's have a look. So this is the morning of the event. And by getting entry, gave you free rail pass. So wherever you were staying in Nice at the time, you could get rail pass. Now we were walking there. There was just thousands of people commuting there in the morning. And it was a very beautiful city in that early in the morning. It was a bit fresh. It wasn't super cold at the time. We shouldn't have taken jumpers, and then we would have been set for the, we wouldn't have had a bag problem. But I don't really know how many people were there, 15, 20,000 people possibly. It was super, super packed. They had a great show in the morning, lots of music, lots of entertainment. They had some drag queens, I think it was. They had people on stilts. They definitely entertained the crowd. You see the photo there of Bryn and myself afterwards with the badge. The badge, do you call it a badge? The medal, 20 kilometers. I paced this one. So this was 1 week after my first marathon in Lubeck. I paced myself 3-minute 50 to 4-minute kilometers. And Bryn has struggled with his hamstring from the Amsterdam marathon. So he was just behind me in this race. But it was an enjoyable run. The roads were great. There was actually some fresh tarmac put on. I don't know whether it was done specifically for this particular race, but it was a enjoyable scenic tour. There was some hills, not a lot. It was a enjoyable run. So the meeting we had afterwards was with local community, and it was at the I Love Nice sign. And you can see some photos here. Mr. Canham, one of the French ambassadors, the associate ambassadors. He's a cool dude. This wasn't his first one. He's been to multiple meetups. And he had a good chat. He had a good conversation in French, of course. And it was good to see. It was great to see a local ambassador taken by the community, and they enjoy what he had to say, and he come across really, really well. So we did some prizes and some spins in there, and you can see us pointing at the winner. And we had a few extra people missing at this, and then later on join us as well. So we then, after we met up and did a chat and did some prize and did some stuff, gave away some shirts and badges and things like that, we went for a walk through the beach area, and then we parked up at a restaurant and we had some lunch. We even had Meta X's family come with us. And a Japanese community. We did a little bit of a chat for Japanese community, and I'll let them know that I'll be in Kyoto in February, and I still plan on sticking to that. So those people that had planned to be there for a Japanese meetup, regardless of post-STEPN or not, I still want to meet I still want to meet the community. This is the thing, regardless of whether it's with STEPN or not, I still absolutely will be going to Kyoto and running the marathon there. Beautiful beach. I was actually surprised. For me, living in Western Australia, we've got some pretty amazing beaches there. I live in Cairns now. Beaches aren't as good as Western Australia, but I was surprised the beach was really, really good. It wasn't a super cold day, so it was a beautiful day for people to be out and about. We sat here for hours. We had a couple of drinks, a few nibblies, sat down for hours and just talked about the game and did a whole lot of things like that. So it wasn't anything hardcore. They didn't do big meals or anything like that. It would have been, if we had, maybe we should have pre-booked somewhere else beforehand. But we had a few drinks and talked. You see Tash in the photo there as well before she had to go for a bit of a walk to go and find our bags. So it was a bit of we lost some time, but it was great to meet the 20, 30 people that we had there. And just to talk about the game, talk about things, real life. It wasn't necessarily even about the game. It wasn't all about it. It was good to catch up. So let's get into Barcelona. Barcelona was the next stop. So 2 nights after Nice, we had booked to be in Barcelona, and it was a hectic schedule. It's like 800 kilometers or something like that. The first night we got there, you see Eddie, Franklin, Eddie's sister in the background there, Bryn in the background as well. It's really, really cool. We went and had dinner with a few of the locals, and then we went and had a few drinks afterwards. So it wasn't anything hardcore on the first night because we weren't sure on what time we were going to be there. So it was good. You see Diego in the photo as well. And that was the first night out. It was really, really cool. Like, it was an enjoyable night out. So Barcelona, we spent pretty much the whole day together, and we had people joining us here at the morning meetup. We played a little bit of hacky sack, I guess you would call it. Fire Launcher gave us a Vietnamese shuttlecock, and we kicked that around to start off with, and just met people, waited for people, and that kind of stuff. And I'll slide through a few of the photos because you can actually see us. You can't see the shuttlecock as often. There it is there in the middle of the screen. Bryn's just missed that one. But, we had a bit of fun with this throughout the whole journey. People having a bit of a play and stuff like that. You can actually see I'm wearing my Barcelona shirt as well. So the boys got this set up to go. Eddie, Diego, Franklin, and it's got the barn dog at Solana on the back of it. So definitely super proud of that. And it's something that I've kept and will keep. Again, I keep talking about the shirts. What do I do with them? I've got an idea for my bulk STEPN shirts, but the personal ones I've been given, I want to keep those. And I still love those. So you see, a bit of a kick. And as people started forming in, we sort of broke down and started handing out shirts, NFTs, and talking to each other and just having little chats along the way. This was a really great meetup as well. We had people travel, multiple people traveled to get to Barcelona. It was the 1st of November, so it was a public holiday, and that means people had the chance to be able to travel up in the morning, meet up, and then travel back that night. And definitely was really, really good. What I really loved about this was, again, meeting real people. So a lot of the people, we had time through the day because we spent the whole day with the community. We had time to have those little interactions and things like that. And it was super enjoyable. You just see more and more people filling in. The shirts going out, both the shirts organised by Eddie, by Diego, Franklin, and then, of course, the STEPN shirts as well, the movement shirts. And it was a good speech at the start there. So Eddie did quite a good speech at the start as well. And then later on, we went for a bit of a walk. You could see Diego's in the side there. He did a bit of a chat as well. And we actually did a space during this, a Spanish space. I didn't realize he had our 6 shoes. So we did the Spanish space as well. And that was later in the day. I'll talk about that where it was. But obviously prizes, NFTs, giveaways, all those kinds of things. That happened as well. Again, it was just great to meet real people. So this gentleman here, I've forgotten his name for the life of me, but 52-year-old runner, does some serious Ks. And we talked about his experience as a runner and STEPN forging his habit and getting him on that healthy routine. And it was really, really cool to have a chance to be able to sit down, have a beer with him afterwards and talk about his experience. This was a church in the center of Barcelona. I'd never heard of it before. Sargrada Familia. I think I've messed that up. and we walked around it. Really, really, really busy. Started getting built in the 1890s, I believe. Still ongoing. It's still probably got 3 years worth of construction time. But it was an amazing, you can see that looks a bit newer, but the back end of it looks quite old. But you can see the building and construction at the top of it, the spires continuing to be built. They've added things to it. But I did a bit of research on this prior to today, and they talk about, you know, a bit more detail of it. But it's just like a Gothic style church, amazing, and given to the people of Barcelona, so it's not owned by anybody, it belongs to the people, and I believe they can't build anything to match the height in the near vicinity. It was really, really cool to see the people and the church and stuff like that. Super, super impressive. We then went through the arch and met up at the park and spent an hour and a half, 2 hours there, and just had a bit of a chill out session. Did the space, like I said, you see more of us there, and we met and had dinner afterwards. So what I loved about this, and through a lot of Europe, I may have mentioned this in previous shows, but was having share plates. Post-corona, post everybody being locked up and isolated, it's great to see share plates coming out, thrown down on tables, and people just hocking in and getting some food and having a good feed together. This, to me, is part of it. Socialization is part of getting back, enjoying being humans again, being friends, having family, meeting people, having a laugh, and you just see lots and lots of smiles and stuff around there. So it was a cool event for the whole process of the day. This was a bit of a people doing minting and gem upgrades and shoe upgrades and things like that. I think Eddie did a transmute. So what was cool about this was the local Spanish coordination here. So the two biggest ones being Eddie and Diego, but then, you know, even Franklin helping in and stuff like that. But they really made this a special event the whole day. To be able to see the smiles and that of the people at the end of the day, and to spend your entire day with them, you just didn't have enough time to be able to do it. It was amazing. So they absolutely made Barcelona probably the highlight city, I think, of the whole journey. And super, super proud to be able to get a chance to go there and meet. And I'm hoping to catch up with them again later in either Europe times or hopefully Eddie comes and visits us in Australia. Next destination was Madrid. Now, Madrid being in Spain, we had hoped to be able to advertise it a little bit earlier and organised to go to Atletico de Madrid, the stadium. So the whole idea for me that I had thought initially was, let's get to the stadium, let's get some local players that play STEPN a chance to go through the football stadium. And it was just something that was delayed and wasn't coordinated very well by the management. And eventually it didn't happen. So we couldn't advertise it if we didn't know it was happening. So right up until the last minute, we didn't know what was going on. But then there was a chance to get in to do an not inspection, what do you call it? A tour through the stadium, and to do some video and some footage to do a advertisement later for a competition that Whalefin, Atletico and STEPN have going in unison. I'll put a little bit of that on at the end. And I was surprised. So a lot of people don't think the Atletico Stadium, you see Tash in the van there, a lot of people don't think it was a good partnership, didn't bring anything to STEPN. I liked it, and I still have my Genesis. Why did I like it? I liked that it was a real brand. I liked that it's a big football brand for Spain. A lot of Spanish people were very excited about it, but it was a real brand. Has it added anything to the game? Probably not. I thought the Genesis shoes were pretty averagely done. I thought there was no special done with the artwork for it. They were just boring and bland. But going and seeing the stadium, it was a very, very impressive stadium. It was clean. It was schmick. We got to see the change rooms. I've got a couple of other photos later as well. These are at the night, so these aren't in order. We did a walk through the city with a few of the local players in Madrid. I'll show that afterwards. So you can see a couple of extra photos here at the stadium. So down at grass level, we weren't allowed on the actual grass. This is the turf just on the outside. and there was 4 of us. So Eddie joined us for this as well. This was super cool to have people joining us in the tour van through Europe. Eddie missed the kickoff time for the morning, but he actually trained it to Madrid, caught us with us in Madrid, and then joined us all the way to Lisbon. So you see in where they do the interviews and that of the coaches and that afterwards, it was pretty cool to sit there, and you've got this big room out in front of you. So yeah, definitely was a cool photo shoot and chance to be able to get some photos done. I even managed to go and check the museum out, and the museum is super impressive. So you'd get lost for an entire day or two there easily. That was the matching cup for my Genesis shoe. So obviously, post STEPN, there's not as much sentimentality there, but it's still there. I still have my shoe. I haven't sold it for the one Ethereum. Have to kind of think about it. But it was cool to see it, and you see a few of the people that joined us on the walk through the night time. So, sounds off, which is good. I'll just flick through this. There's no point showing the whole thing. I don't think this is going to get light of day. Because obviously I'm no longer an ambassador at STEPN. I haven't seen it advertised anywhere. But I was impressed with the stadium, and later on down the track, if people get a chance to go and visit it, very cool. So this was in Lisbon afterwards. I did something for the competition, but didn't get a chance to do that. So Lisbon was where we were finishing with the tour bus. And we rocked up there on a Thursday night. We parked the van up on the Friday in a park lot. We got broken to over the weekend, which was disappointing. That's what insurance is for, though. And we were there to do events on the weekend. On the Saturday, there was a 10-kilometer race, and we did that. There was a small group of us did that. On the Sunday, we did the STEPN Games. I was there also for the Solana Games Day, which was on the Friday. That was impressive. That was really, really impressive. Me as a gamer, as a traditional gamer, seeing all these games present and all of that, it was awesome. You can see I've got some white shoes on there, some white Asics. That was to do with the UI collection. I've got more photos of those later. They did the white, the black. We just got the badge dropped today for the Dust Labs and the Asics. So they were just a trial pair to advertise them out, put them out there. A little bit small for me, but I did take them for a run. I took them for a run at that event. So on the 10K, this is photos from the games day, like just games everywhere. It was very, very cool. So we have the man that really made Lisbon special, Barefoot STEPN. So you'll see him in the community. He is amazing. And what I want to highlight is have a look down here. He is a barefoot runner. He's such an amazing dude. Such an amazing dude. Definitely don't have enough praise and love to be able to give him. Also gave us an oito.um shirt. He's got his own clothing line, and it's mainly for women's, I believe, is where it concentrates on. And that is, I'll put a link down in the descriptions. We were going to do an extra run with them, just didn't get a chance to fire it off. Wasn't super amount of interest for it, but we still did this 10-kilometer race. So where are we with the 10-kilometer race? We had that. Then on the Sunday, the STEPN Games, and then we headed across and did the Athens. But it wasn't as big as I thought it was going to be with the STEPN Games, because a lot of people were getting drunk the night before, the night after, they were resting up and all that kind of stuff. But it was still a great event. Now, we had more than this doing this run, so I'm not sure what's happening. You'll see in the next photos I've got it. This is Bryn. This was on the finishing. Tash took photos for us. You see him flying towards the end. I believe he came second in his age group. There's old Barn Dog running up the hill, so I think I did 39 minutes, 40 seconds, something like that. So that's my fastest timed 10-kilometer run. And that was in size 10s, and they're ASICs, the GT2000. So they were the trial pair, so I wanted to take them for a run, see how they felt doing a full run, and they were good. But that was going up a hill. It was a nasty finish to a run. Like, it was quite a bit of an increment at the end there, and you kind of just want to finish off flat, but it was quite hard there. You see me pushing through it, and the boys coming up the hill here, Eddie with a couple of the locals. Eddie, I overtook him just towards the end. They did the 5K. So you see a photo at the end of us here. You've also got people in there. You've got Cozy. You've got E-Money. Eddie, myself, Bryn, you've got Barefoot in there and a few of the locals. So it was a cool run to do, and definitely big props to Barefoot for getting the extras in there. These are the Solana shoes that they did. You can't buy them anymore. They were a pre-order for March, a special release during the Lisbon event, during that 5-day release. And it was done between ASICs, done with Solana Pay, done with STEPN. And it was a good partnership. So where are we here? What's going to play next? I've got some photos and then videos. I've got some videos. I'll play them afterwards. So STEPN Games was a concept that we put forward as doing like an Olympic Games where you have teams of 5 people. We ended up doing teams of 4. I had over 200 signups. And on the day, whether this was to do with GMT being cancelled, whether it was teams were too hungover, a lot of people that said they wouldn't show up didn't show up. But we had some fun. Anyway, nonetheless, we had some challenges. We did challenges like egg and spoon race, like the limbo, a good run, a group run. So in 4 people with a shuttle. And there was also kicking the footy, lots of different things. And people had fun. This is the thing is we got outside. It was about health and fitness. It was about having a bit of fun. We had families, kids, locals. We had some developers and builders. You see Dean, he's going to be in a photo later on as well. Dean Machine there at the front. You see Barefoot, STEPN. It was a really cool event to have some people that were traveling to Lisbon during the big Breakpoint event and joining us on the Sunday morning. So we did the we did this as well. The what do you call that? Planking. So we did that, and that was the 4 of us. I think I got second in that, and Barefoot won it. So we had the old footies. It's really cool showing people an AFL and an Aussie rules footy and seeing them kick it, how they kick it, and it was get closest to the pin. Oh, that was the egg and spoon race. Now we've got some limbo photos, all videos. This is a .movie file, and my computer is not liking .movies at all at the moment. More photos on the day. Tash, she doesn't get in many photos. Normally she's the one taking the photos, but Eddie chucked a couple of extra photos in. Haha. We'll put some sound on for this one. We'll see whether we've got sound. Now, I believe these were they were a couple because we were doing the one-legged challenge and we made people put their hands out, we made people put their arms up, the sky, all kinds of challenges, and they just kept going. They had this nailed.
Yeah, eyes closed.
That was that one. The limbo. I was surprised at how low people went. It was a bit of a challenge at the end. Let's play some video. Where are we? I had extra video to play before we get into those ones. Oh, this was Tash at the start recording me. Just doing a GPS thing. So it was a bit of a GPS draw thing, and you see me running around. This was before the STEPN Games. Going in 3, 2, 1, go!
So it is on the grass. Okay, let's go.
There are plenty of water bottles down there too. People need drinks afterwards. Don't carry it with you on the run though.
Yes.
So we had planned a 1 kilometre each, but just on the morning we've just had a look around the park. We've tried to make sure it's safe. The run was good. We did a big lap of the park. I think it was 450 metres per person. So it wasn't huge, but in a team environment, we had to hand over a shuttle each. It was good fun. You see the 4 people over the back there. Got a straggler. Barefoot run. Barefoot. Had to teach himself how to run barefoot. I'm just so impressed with his story on this. A lot of people, say they can't run, But when you do a small run like that as a team, as a challenge, having a bit of fun, there's plenty of prizes, plenty of things to win, lots of merchandise as well on the side. It was good fun overall.
Oh, yes! Yes!
Come on, come on, come on, come on!
Dropped his egg right at the very end. He did pass the finishing line. You see the concentration on Dean there, and the kid getting involved as well.
He passed the line.
Just one egg.
Had a lot of spare eggs left over.
Oh, come on.
All right, so that was the challenges and all that. Where are we? So, all in all, I think the STEPN Games is definitely a model that you could work on, and we just had some fun with the community, with builders, people actually putting things out on Solana, and it was cool to finish the Euro trip all the way down in Portugal. There, it was my very first time in being in Portugal, and even Barcelona and Madrid. I'd never been through Spain before. So it was awesome. Now, Eddie is a tattoo artist. I didn't know this. He lives in Barcelona, but he actually works in Germany as a tattoo artist. Never knew this beforehand. And I haven't had tattoos done on me since 2017, I believe. So it was around 5-6 years. And he's got a mobile kit. So he joined us from Barcelona, in Madrid, and then in Lisbon, and brought his kit with him. And he actually added in my new lines. Where is my camera? Can you see? Yeah, you can. You see the little bit in the middle there? So he's added these in. This is fully healed up now afterwards, and I love them. So they're Nazca lines for me. I'd never thought that this STEPN Euro trip would end in me getting a tattoo in Lisbon. So what was interesting as well is that I always had pictured that you can't do it and run. You can't get wet afterwards. But he put this extra layer of skin on afterwards, and it was super, super impressive. So it's great work. Absolutely mind blown at the craft quality that he did. And you form a bit of a bond with tattoo artists. And I had I've had my dragon snake there for obviously everyone's seen it. And, I love the guy that did that, but it's been 5-6 years since I've had him done. So it wasn't something that I had expected at the start, but to finish off there, and you see Barefoot having a bit of a laugh with us as well. But this was literally in the kitchen of the apartment that we were hired into. So all in all, Lisbon, super fun. And again, props to Barefoot, and even Eddie did so well there. But Barefoot made it happen. He drove us around. He took us to events. He did extra time with us. And, this is what I was talking about in other places. This is where you find your next ambassadors for the projects. This is where you find the people that are going to educate their local community. So he brought in locals. It might be a bear market, but he's running. He's got these shirts to hand out to people and the local runners. And, whether you have a meal with these people, you have a bit of fun, you go on a run, then you get those things. So we finished up in Athens. So Athens was always intended on being part of the STEPN Euro trip and being a second marathon for me in the end. Originally, I'd planned this to be my very, very first marathon, and to do it as the traditional Greek classic. There's different names for it, but this is where you actually run from the town of Marathon. You can see the map there. You run all the way from Marathon to Athens, and it's back to do when the Persians invaded Greece. And of course, they had to run, and they had to alert them and let them know things and that. Now, you can see the hills and the elevations in the map there. It was the 30 to 32 kilometer mark was hardcore hard. It was, wow, that was the hardest part. You can see it on the map. I'd pictured the other way, but it was actually, I looked at it wrong. So the first half of this wasn't a lot of elevation. The second half of the race was hardcore. And there was over 20,000 runners. Now, we had a ambassador there in Sonia Heichel. And Sonia ran this. She's ran it many other times. And her partner ran it as well, Mikey. They were awesome people. They were absolutely awesome people. We were meant to put a booth in the expo, but of course management delayed it at the last minute, and we couldn't get a booth in there. So this is where I see games, products, and that having a chance to be able to expose what's STEPN, what's this, what's that, what's Solana. And at events like this, with over 20,000 people going through this event, it wasn't expensive to get in there at all. But of course, management delayed it and it didn't get to happen. But nonetheless, we got to experience it, go through it, and seeing all the old medals from the previous. So this was their 39th, I believe, 39th authentic marathon, and they've actually got a current 8-year schedule. Last year was cancelled for Corona, and they've got the M and the A on the board there. And this year we got the R, so you can buy the old, medals, and you can buy the new ones in the future down the track. You don't have to run physically all 8. Obviously, running's quite an expensive sport overall, and you see it. It's the biggest sport in the world, I believe. So you look at it, there's a lot of money in it, and you can spend money very easily. I bought the M and the A myself. I earned the R doing the marathon. And it's cool. I'm going to want to get the rest of the medals down the track. You can see some of the things I bought as well. So I've not experienced running as on carbs or running with these gel packs that people talk about. So definitely not an expert. But during marathons, you need to have, you need sugar, you need glucose to go to your muscles to stop them freezing up. So there's science behind it. People train themselves for it. You don't just have them straight. You can see a Stroop waffle in the middle there. Fire Launcher was one of the first people that introduced me to a Stroop waffle. But I ate that for breakfast, and then I had the gel packs through the race, and it was a super, super impressive race. You can see the Panathinaikos Stadium. This is the second time I've been to Greece. And this is the home of the the home of the modern Olympics. And you finished the run there. So I went there the day before. I'm going to leave sound off on this. This is the marathon race. But overall, Athens and the marathon there, it's huge for them. They're 39th. This is where marathon started. And they had the Spartathlon. Chris Calamano did that this year. We covered that a lot. I did a good interview with him. I was chuffed to be in this. I'm going to do videos later about my experience and talk about that a lot more in more detail. But you can see me running up there at the 30Ks. This is going up some of the steepest incline, and definitely taught me a lot about researching a lot more. You see me running in at the end here. Where am I? There I am. I will do a look at that in a lot more detail. Now, I had some friends meet me during this run, and this photo here was taken by Dean. He's someone that actually made me fall in love with Solana. There was 2 people, both Greek people in Grape, and Dean was on course. He met me around the 32-kilometer area, and he was cheering, and he took this, and it really, really helped me. It was super, super awesome. When you run, you're not just running for yourself. You run for a community. A lot of times you run for family, friends. There's a team that help you get through that. Very, very mental sport. But definitely seeing Dean there, and he was cheering. It was so awesome. Then Taki later on as well. And where are the rest of the photos? Dean, this was our post-marathon carbs. Rocking the Grape gear, and you see the barn dog hat, and I was rocking me STEPN as usual. But it was really, really cool. Jaris as well there joined us for a beer, and we saw Sonia posted up a photo. She did hers, I think it might have been her 4th time she's done the authentic. And Mikey, her partner, he joined us obviously at night for dinner. A few locals there, Legend as well. It was good to see Eri again. So these are people that we met last time as well in Greece. Much, much bigger event. We had over 120 people last time. This time it was a very small crowd. So obviously a lot of interest dropped out of the game because there's no money to be made anymore. Like, it's not big, huge amounts of money for GMT. For GST, the coin is quite low. And overall, like I said at the very beginning, the team adjusting GMT earnings did hurt this whole STEPN European tour. So that's unavoidable. We couldn't change that. Through the whole lot of the events, we met some really amazing people, both community, ambassadors, friends from other projects. Finishing in Lisbon was super awesome to see Breakpoint and to see what Solana did for that. All in all, I got to spend a lot of time with Bryn in it, and he taught me a world of information as a running coach, and it certainly helped my experience, both in both my marathons, and absolutely both of my marathons, hands down. But special thanks to Fire Launcher for the whole lot of it. Of course, he helped. He was pivotal in the planning. And it's disappointing we didn't get to do as much with him. Unfortunately, he couldn't make Dubai. There was dramas with that. But to have a chance to travel to do the STEPN Europ Trip was definitely one of my highlights of this year. So regardless of what happened when I came home, regardless of what happened during the tour and the team and the failings of the management and all of that, all in all, I think these tours, these trips, these live events for the people, for the community, are super important. So there was just so much to look at. But I mean, where are we? Where are one of the photos? No, not that. It was one of the...
Going in 3, 2, 1, go.
Like, exercise. It's funny. We're all there to go outside, touch some grass, have some fun, do a bit of running, participate, communicate. We did egg and spoon. We did limbo. We did planking. We did the one-legged challenge. It was nothing's written about this. There's no books on how to do all this sort of stuff. These are a lot of things that we learnt along the way. Playing shuttlecock along the way as well. Fire Launcher supplying that for us was pretty awesome. It was just good to have fun and to travel around and do it. So definitely as my last live tour video for this series and for STEPN, I won't be doing more videos for STEPN. This was an amazing chance to meet community. Keep fighting for what you guys deserve. Definitely keep having a look. If you get a chance to go to these events, I think they're great. If you've got a chance to meet other like-minded individuals that are playing the game that you're choosing to play, whether it's STEPN, whether it's other games like DFIT, GenoPets, whoever comes along afterwards, the Move and Earn ecosystem, it's going to be huge in years to come. I think it's an amazing part to meet other people, to potentially meet new friends, new partners. I did mention some names in this particular one, but there was a couple that met in Barcelona at one of these live events. They've since become a couple together, and this is awesome, right? So there are so many ways to think of how positive this is for individuals, communities, for teams, for building and all that kind of stuff. I'm glad and proud that I got a chance to help with that. Definitely had fun along the way as well. It was awesome to be joined by Tash. She joined us in Italy. Probably a bit rushed. I wish in the end, if she had have just if her and I had have stuck to the Athens plan, probably would have been smarter in the end because we would have had more time together. A lot of the trip was 5,000 plus kilometers in 3 weeks. It was huge. It was just driving. But that was all part of it. So it was a great concept. It was good to get on the road. It was good to have some fun. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy. And thank you, Mother, for the rabbits.